that in the south part of India, a man was holding his daughter and a wave came, and when the wave left, all that was left in his arms was her clothes. The girl was dragged away. It's very sad. But there is a lesson. This body is a temporary set of clothes for the soul. We should do everything we can to help the body. But real love is to help the soul. Simply to make your dress nice, but neglect the person, the conscious force, is incomplete. It is not true compassion. Parikshit Maharaj had compassion for the souls of all living beings. So poor Ajamila, he became distracted. And in that distracted condition, due to unfavorable association, there's a famous saying, show me who you associate with and I will tell you who you are. We become our association. If you put an iron rod in fire, it becomes red and hot like fire. If you put an iron rod in ice, it becomes cold as ice. We take on the qualities of who we associate with. That is why this wonderful satsang program tonight is so important. To associate with like-minded people who are striving to hear about high enlightening topics is all important. It will determine the state of our consciousness. Nasta prayesya badreshu nityam bhagavati sevaya bhagavati uttamaslauke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Therefore, real human civilization is to seek regular association with saintly persons. Mahatsevam dwaram ahurvamuktes tamodwaram yoshita sangi sangam. The Bhagavad Puran describes how by associating with great personalities and serving them, by hearing from them, the doors to the perfection of liberation are opened in our lives. But by associating with materialistic people who are squandering their lives due to being impelled by the false ego, we're opening the doors to the darkest regions. Association is all important. Ajamila, in the association of his mother and father and his wonderful wife, was a very pious and good man. But because he chose to associate with the wrong company, he became completely degraded. He broke the heart of his family. He rejected his mother, father, rejected his wife. And living with a very sinful person, he became so sinful. He became a hardened criminal. So selfish, so egoistic. He did not care for anyone except himself and his own family. If he had to cause pain, if he had to lie, he had to cheat, if he had to cause physical harm and violence to others, he didn't care. Because after all, life is about serving number one, me. Even some great psychiatrists and psychologists in the West, they say that today's civilization is the me civilization. Everyone is so thinking about me. So he was dying in old age. But do you know, because he performed some nice activities in his childhood, the grace of God was still with him. Krishna tells in Gita, Neha Bikramanasosti Pratyavayo Nividyate Swalpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahatobhaya. That whatever we do in the service of the Lord, it is never lost. It is eternal. Sarvasya chaham hriti shanivashromatab matir jnanam abohanam cha. Krishna is seated in everyone's heart. Krishna is the source of remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. And the living entity that is Jiva Shakti. Jiva Shakti means Mamaivam so Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. The spirit soul by constitutional nature is part and parcel of Krishna. We are simultaneously God and not God. Like a sun ray is the sun, but it is only an infinitesimal part of the sun. It is not the sun, but it is a part of the sun. In the same way, we are part and parcel of the Lord. We are Satchidananda, eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. Nityo nityanam chaitanas chaitananam eko bahunam yovidadati kama. There is one supreme eternal who is the absolute truth, Bhagavan. And there are unlimited, infinitesimal, eternal beings who are always subordinate to the one supreme. And we have free will. And according to the decisions and choices we make in our free will, the Lord within our heart will facilitate that. If we want to forget God so that we can do anything we want, we can make our own laws, we can make our own principles of morality, or we can break them. The Lord will facilitate. He's the source of forgetfulness. You want to forget? He'll create such an incredible network of forgetfulness. Whole scientific, technological, philosophical, psychological evidence that there is no God. So much logic and common sense we'll have that after this body dies, everything's finished. So it doesn't matter what I do as long as I enjoy. Such deep avidya or ignorance, how can it come about? It's the Lord simply facilitating our desires. But if we want to remember, if we want real knowledge, the Lord from within our heart will facilitate that. Lord Chaitanya told Rupa Goswami that the spirit soul is wandering through endless species of life. There are 8,400,000 species according to Padma Purana, wandering through various universes, trying to enjoy and simultaneously suffering. But when one finally comes to the position of being very fortunate, the Lord within the heart, when he sees there's some faith, there's some desire to know him and come closer to him, the Lord will give all directions, will orchestrate the creation to meet the spiritual masters and the holy people, to actually give us the enlightened knowledge we require. Ajamila named his youngest son Narayan. Why? Because the Lord knew that Narayan was going to be at his bedside at the time of death. The Lord inspired him to give his son that name, because although he did heaps and heaps and heaps of criminal activities, he did some good, and the Lord never forgot that. He performed bhakti, devotional service, which is never lost. So at the time of death, he saw the Yamadutas, the messengers of hell, to drag his soul and his subtle body to very cruel punishments. And he cried for his son, Narayan. And the servants of the Lord sent the Yamadutas away, and he became purified. And then he realized, what have I done in my life? He was utterly repentant for all the bad things that he did, all the pain he caused to others. And he went to Haridwar, and there he spent the rest of his life fixed in meditation on the mercy of the Lord. And he spent the rest of his life purifying his heart by chanting the holy names. So this is the solution, according to Shukadeva Goswami, according to Krishna. Man manabhavamad bhakto imajya jimnam namaskuru. Always remember me, Krishna says. When that drop of water becomes polluted by all sorts of mud, when the spirit soul, which is originally pure, becomes covered with so many egoistic, selfish, passionate desires, we must filter that water to bring it back to its natural, original state. And what is the way of filtering our consciousness? Not creating an artificial imposition on the mind, but actually bringing our consciousness back to its original, natural, pristine state. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sajja Kapunoi Sravanadi Sudhi Cheti Kodige Udoi. That in the pure state, we not only realize our own eternal identity, but we realize our relationship with Krishna, the supreme absolute truth, who is Bhaktavatsal, who is always so dear, the object of the love of his devotee. What is love? Love in its original state is the soul's deep, eternal affection toward the all-attractive, all-merciful, all-opulent Lord. That is love. When we forget our love for God, we try to find some replacement, but we're never satisfied, because God's love for us is unlimited and our love for God is incessant, and it's perfect. And what is it that actually attracts us in anything in this world? It's the presence of God. Why do we love our mother, our father, our children, our wife, our husband? Sometimes that happens. Why do we love these people? Why we don't love their body when they're dead? We love them because there's a tiny little infinitesimal part of God within their hearts. That's what we love. Because we love God. It's our nature. Krishna is all attractive. He is Bhagavan. He is all strength, all knowledge, all fame, all power, all renunciation, and especially all beauty. So when we simply repose our affection, our natural inclination to love in God, we achieve ultimate happiness. And that happiness is universal. Because when you love God, then you naturally, spontaneously love every living entity. Because you see everyone as the children of God. How does that love awaken? In this age of Kali, there is a special medicine that goes right to the core of the problem and makes permanent solution. Harinama, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam, kalo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyata. Most powerful, most effective energy or medicine in this age of Kali. The chanting of the holy names of Lord Hari. Why? Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Ras Vigraha. The name of God is non-different than God. Therefore it is like touchstone. It can fulfill all of our innermost desires. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed, Nam Nam Akari Bahudanita Sarva Shaktis. All the powers, opulences of the Supreme Lord are within the name, can be accessed through the chanting of the holy names. Ajamila attained the ultimate perfection of life simply by chanting God's names. And that same opportunity is available for all of us. By associating with saintly persons, by living in harmony with God's laws of proper morality, by hearing the glories of the Lord and chanting the names of the Lord, it is certain that we will realize and experience the unlimited wealth, the treasure of happiness within ourselves. And like Prahlad, in that state, we just want to share it with everyone. Like that simple housewife Kunti Devi, even in a most difficult situation on her deathbed, she was experiencing love of God. And she felt so wealthy and so happy and so fortunate. She just wanted to share it with everyone. In all situations. That is real success. Durlabha manava janma lobhya samsare. Human life is so rare. And every moment in life is so precious. Because time passes inconceivably. Seconds are passing. Minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, decades. Life after life after life. Imperceptibly, time is stealing our life away. What are we going to do with our time? Ayur harati vaipungsham. The Bhagavatam declares, with every rising and setting of the sun, we are one day closer to death. Except for those who are hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, who are immersed in service to the Lord. For such personalities, with every rising and setting of the sun, we are one day closer to realizing our own eternal existence. Closer to the eternal Leela of the Lord. Therefore, Krishna tells, Man mana bhava mad bhakto mad yajim nam namaskuru. Always remember me. Become my devotee. Worship me. Offer your homage unto me. In this way, you will come to me without fail. It is certain. To have faith in this principle is the most glorious wealth that we can possibly achieve. It is not blind faith. Faith that I'll be happy through acquiring money. Faith that I'll be happy by developing a handsome or beautiful or strong body. Faith that I'll be happy by getting promotions and having more prestige. That is blind faith. Because how long will it last? And even people who have it all, they're taking sleeping pills just to go to sleep. They're in so much anxiety. That is blind faith. Or as the Bengali saying says, Goda Dimba. It's having faith that I will be happy by obtaining the egg of a horse. Huh? The world is striving to gain the happiness of possessing a horse's egg or a flower growing in the sky. But the fact is, horses do not lay eggs. It's not real. It's an illusion. So all of our material attempts for happiness, for security, for stability, are illusory. Therefore, the greatest of all wealth is to have faith in the truth. It is not blind faith. It is faith that has been established by God's incarnations all over the world. Whether one is a Hindu or a Muslim or a Jew or a Christian or a Zoroastrian, whatever religion, the principle is universally the same, that we must have faith. That if we surrender to the Lord, we will find the ultimate perfection of life. The greatest, most compassionate, learned saints throughout history, throughout the world, have been not only educating us in this way, but they've been pleading for us to understand, sometimes even willing to sacrifice their lives to help enlighten us with this faith. Are such great personalities willing to live and die to give us this? Are they wrong? Are they an illusion? Compare the saints of the world, the real saints, the character and quality of their lives to the people who are promoting atheism and materialism. Who do we want to have faith in? That is our choice. When we associate with saintly people and hear from them, our faith grows. Our faith is nourished. It's already within our heart. It is nourished, like watering a seed. Ado shadha tata sadhu sangha. Sadhu Sangha nourishes the seed of faith that is within our heart. Faith that if I live in harmony with the will of God, if I live as the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord, Trinadapi sunichena taror iba sihishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. To be humble like a blade of grass, tolerant like a tree, ready to offer all respect to others and expect none in return. If we can just try to live by this principle, envy, anger, greed, pride, anger, and illusion, filters it all away and brings the pristine, pure, transcendental nature of the soul back to its original state. And in that state, ecstatic, unlimited love, praying for the Lord Krishna and for every living being. If you water the root of the tree, every part of the tree is satisfied. This is real solution. And if people think that it is impractical, that is impractical, because nothing else will work. Everything else is superficial. In this world, we do have a responsibility to perform superficial, symptomatic remedies to the problems of the world. We have to do it. It's our duty. But we should never neglect the real problem, purifying our own heart and being instruments of God's love in our life by chanting His holy names. Kevala Ananda Kanda, and it's so easy and it's so joyful. It's just designed for the age of Kali. How many can go to Himalayas and sit in meditation in complete concentration and celibacy their whole lives? But according to the scriptures, you can get all that result and more, even living at home. Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, they were grihastas. They were not sannyasis like me. They had wives, they had children, they had immense responsibilities. They were kings. But they performed all their duties, never neglecting to hear and chant the glories of the Lord and doing the will of the Lord. That is the beauty of real life. Thank you very much. It was this wonderful benediction that His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada shared with the whole world. The incredible depth and wealth of the Vedic scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Upanishads. He traveled around the world 14 times. He started from Bombay also. This is where he collected his ticket for a cargo ship, the MV Jaladuta. He took that cargo ship across the Arabian Sea. He went through Africa and Europe, crossed the Atlantic Ocean, arrived in New York City. He had 40 rupees and didn't know anyone. But he had a box of Srimad Bhagavatams. He had faith in the mercy of his Guru and the Lord, and total faith in the power of the holy names. And he transformed tens and thousands of people's lives. And it is by his sacrifice of love that we are all here together tonight. At this time we will have Sankirtan. But before, I'd like to announce something. On February 12th through February 20th, there is a wonderful celebration to honor Srila Prabhupada's 108th anniversary of his appearance in this world at Cross Maidan. And it is very special to me because that is where I first met him. I traveled from America over the Atlantic and hitchhiked. Hitchhike means overland, just asking people for trucks, buses, whatever way I can get. From London, I came to India. It took 6 months. I was searching for spiritual life, searching for spiritual teachers. I lived in Himalayas and other holy places, going to ashrams, meeting yogis, lamas, gurus. Now, Bombay is not the place you go if you're searching for God. At least, that wasn't my idea. I was in Bodh Gaya and Varanasi and Sarnath and all different places in the Himalayas, Badrinath. I came to Bombay to get a renewal of visa. And I was taking some meditation course here also. I was walking down the road and I saw a big sign, Hare Krishna. What is that? I didn't know what Hare Krishna was. But I realized it has something to do with God, and I was interested in God. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to understand. And it said, Hare Krishna Festival at Cross Maidan. So I went to Cross Maidan, and there was a crowd of about 20,000 people. And that's where I first met Srila Prabhupada. And I attended his lectures morning and evening for about 2 weeks. And it had a very profound effect in my heart. I didn't become a devotee then. I continued and went back to Himalayas, and ultimately, almost a year later, a half year later, Krishna sent me to Vrindavan without my knowing. I was in Vrindavan, and there I met Prabhupada again and offered him my heart and my life. So it was in March of 1971 that Srila Prabhupada had his first major public program in Cross Maidan, Bombay. And 20,000 people were coming every night. And it was the first place that both Radhanath-Swami and myself met Srila Prabhupada. And the organizer of that program was a very illustrious, glorious disciple of Prabhupada named Shyam Sundar Prabhu. And 2 other great souls were working together with him. His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. The 3 of them organized this whole event. Glorious event. And Shyam Sundar Prabhu has returned to Bombay, and this is his inspiration. He's organizing it again 34 years later. It's going to be glorious. There's going to be full temple within the pandal. There'll be worship of the deities, Mangal Arti, at I think 6 o'clock in the morning. And there'll be classes and seminars throughout the day. Wonderful seminars, very lively seminars, scientific seminars. And there'll be wonderful spiritual entertainment and festivities. And every evening there'll be Mahasatsang. So it will be a wonderful event, we hope. And we very sincerely and humbly invite all of you, please, whenever you possibly can, come to the festival at Cross Maidan. Shyam Sundar Prabhu called me just before leaving and told me to make sure I invite everyone to come. From my heart, you are all invited. And at this time, we would like to invite you to join us in Nam Sankirtan.